everyone, another day, another share with Phyllis. That's me. So today I'm super excited. I want to announce a new series of tutorials. So basically what it is it's for beginners, somebody who's never quilted before. The series will start with drafting a block, to making your template, to cutting your fabric out, choosing and cutting your fabric out, and sewing your fabrics together. And there's several styles of blocks that I will be doing this. So each block will have a series of videos depicting how to put that particular block together. And then when I move on to the next style of block, I will do the whole process over again. But what you will need, and what we're going to cover today, is what you will need for the tools to be able to draft, mark, sew, cut and sew your blocks out. So I want to show you the tools that you will need. The first things you're going to need is some pins. I don't know why this is at the beginning, because it's not technically at the beginning that you need these. But let's just go through my list here, and we'll start with the pins. Okay, so we have the pins. You can buy little glass head pins. My favorite to work with are these little tiny applique pins. They're about a ½ inch long. I like them tiny because they don't distort my fabric pieces as I'm sewing them together as easily. And they're small. They are easy to work with in my mind, and they're easy to sew over or under, or whatever the case may be. So those are pins. The next thing we want to do is, because you're going to be drafting each block, you need some drafting tools and marking tools. So the first thing you're going to need is a drafting ruler. I'm just putting the paper up so you can see what the drafting ruler looks like. It's 2 inches wide by 18 inches long. It has all the markings that you need, the 1 inch, the ½ inch, the 1/4 inch, and also the 1/8 of an inch markings. And I think in between the 1/8, you can, on the edges, right on each of the edge here, you'll see a small line that doesn't go right across, but it's here, and at this point here, it has the 1/16 of an inch mark also, if you decide that you need a 1/16 of an inch, 1/8 of an inch. So one of these you need. The other thing that you will need is Quilters Designer's graph paper. Okay, so this is a square 12 by 12, and this is what it looks like. Do not go to Brio and Grow thinking that you could buy this there. This you have to buy at your local quilt shop or online. Okay? So, and the other thing that you need is template plastic. Start with 1 sheet. You can buy these in 8 by 11s. This is 18 by 12. So hopefully that will do more than one block. And it's kind of see-through. So you need to start with 1 sheet. If you go through the whole series, you might need to get a second sheet, but I would start with 1 sheet. The next things is you need some sewing needles. My favorite are these black gold needles, and this is a size 9. Me personally, I work with a 10, but as a beginner, you might want to start with a 9. So you need a package of those. The next thing is some, let's go with the marking tools. So there's a few different marking tools I'm going to show you. You can get a Fons and Porter or a Sew Line marking tool. This is 3-in-1, so you have the black, the white, and the pink in there. And you can buy your refills. Okay? If you do not want to buy one of these, you can buy a 0.9 millimeter mechanical pencil and put your white lead or your pink lead in there, but it has to be 0.9 millimeters, because that's what these are. And then you buy these. Do not think that you can just buy the leads in the Bureau and Grow or Staples or someplace like that, in an office supply store, and think that this is just going to mark off. The black lead is fine. You can use that as long as it's a soft lead and it marks well and it doesn't seep through. But the colored leads you should be buying at a quilt shop, because they are made for fabric. And they do, the sew line has pink. I have the pink in the sew line. They have the white in the sew line, and then they have the lead black in the sew line. And these are made to mark on fabrics. So if you're going to mark your fabrics, my suggestion is you stick with the Try and True for fabrics, okay? And that's the sew line or the Fons and Porter or any other brand that's sold in a quilting shop. Okay, another thing that you will need is a Sharpie, a fine point Sharpie. That is to mark your template plastic, okay? And then the other stuff you will need is for another marking tools. These are specialty marking tools. These ones are blue. They come out with water. They're great for light fabrics, but just keep in mind that if you iron these, you've made them permanent. So you never use this and then put an iron onto your fabric. You iron and then mark when the fabric is cooled off, and then wash these off with water. If you don't want to wash your fabrics, I would use the lead pencils. They don't need to come off if you're marking on the inside of your seam allowance. And this is the white one. This comes off with an iron. So when you use these, don't use them together. And if you do, wash first, iron second, because ironing makes these guys permanent. So be extra careful when you work with these, but they're great tools to have. So the last stuff I want to go over is the cutting tools. So because we're working with template plastic, get a pair of cheap scissors that you don't give a rat's ass about, and those are for your plastics. Get a good pair of cutting scissors for fabric. Okay, these are pretty big. These are the Clover brand. They have serrated edges on one side. They're very sharp. They're heavy. They're long. They're great for cutting fabrics. And for cutting your thread as you sew, or clipping, if you have a corner that, like a curve that you're gone and you want to clip it so it will lie flat, you want to get something that's small, light, and portable, because clipping with these constantly your threads to cut off the spool or to clip your thread when you're finished your seam, these are bulky. You want something that's light and portable. And this is just one suggestion. There's millions out there of different tiny scissors. Just make sure they've got a very good point and that they're comfortable in your hand as you cut. And these are quite comfortable. They've got big holes here for your thumbs and stuff like that. So those are fun. The other thing that you need are thimbles. This is a Clover Thimble, and this is I forget the brand of this one. This one, the price range is very different. This is another type of thimble that works. Remember, your thimble has to fit on your swearing finger. So, and make sure that when you put it on and you shake it, it doesn't fall out. Okay? Now, there's other brands of thimbles. There's leather thimbles. There's all sorts of tiny thimbles. Thimbles are a personal thing. It's like getting a prescription for your eyes. It has to fit your type of finger, and it has to feel comfortable. You want the thimble to fit in a way that you forget that you have it on your finger. So it's almost like an extension to your swearing finger. So very important. Make sure that when you do this, it doesn't slide off, but also make sure that it's not too tight that it hurts your finger, okay? And the last thing is your thread. So I work with an off-white or a light gray. It's on the inside seam. It's not showing. There's other types of threads for quilting and stuff, and we might cover that in future videos. I haven't decided how far I'm going with these series. All I know is that I'm going to show you the different types of style of blocks. So for example, a 9 patch or a 4 patch or a 7 or a 5 patch. Those are the ones that I'm probably most likely going to do, and each one will be a series. So when I start showing you how to draft the 9 patch, I will also show you how to make the templates for that, and then I will continue as I go through the different style of blocks. So that is it for today, and if you are interested in following along, ring the bell and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you on the next share day, and happy quilting! Bye!